What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to day 6 of the Double Master Showcase Box Toppers, alternate art, variant art, special card, name and number crunch. So, we have an actual official spoiler today. So, just to recap from yesterday real quick, we had an unofficial spoiler, which was Stoneforge Mystic. And I don't see anything that would be contrary to that, but it is still just unofficial. So once we get the official spoiler, I'll fix this image over here. But the official spoiler we got today was one that I wasn't expecting. It is one of the common uncommon cards that got upshifted to rare, so that puts us at 6 of 8 now. But the card that was spoiled was Fatal Push. And Fatal Push is an interesting choice. I know it saw a decent amount of play in Modern. I'm not sure how much it sees played now. I don't really keep up with the competitive formats that much anymore. But if it does see a lot of play in Modern, then I think it's a pretty solid choice. And if it also sees like a bunch of play in Legacy. I don't know that this card necessarily sees a lot of play in Commander. And I'm not sure what the collector interest is for this card, so only time will tell when it comes to this. I am interested to see what it does. Can't say that I'd be particularly happy if I opened one in a VIP booster or as one of my box toppers, but that's not to say I would be upset about it. Just kind of neutral, I would imagine. So going through the list, we can see that we are still live for some cards. I think we're live for Liliana the Veil and 2 slots, whether it's this magical 335 slot, which can be a Planeswalker or a white card or a colorless card or something along that line. It'd be interesting to see. Or if it's in the black slot, maybe a 344 or 345. It can fit there. I also do believe that Thoughtseize has a chance to be printed in this set, and I think logically it's probably in the 344, 345, or 346 slot. We're just going to have to see what they come up with. We have 2 black cards already, so they could print black card 3 and 4 and then print 3 red cards. I think that would probably be the route they would go, but once again, I don't work for Wizards of the Coast, so I don't get to make any of these choices. We're also still live for Lightning Bolts. We might be live for another red card. I saw some speculation that maybe it could be Kiki Jiki. That would be an interesting red card to print, and it does fit the name and number crunch. We still don't really know what can be printed in this multicolored / artifact slot. There's a number of cards here. And then I was thinking through of cards that go from E to M, and Lotus Petal seems like it'd be an interesting choice. It's already been printed as a masterpiece in Kaladesh, so it does have the collector's demand for it. And then moving on to the last 3 open slots, it's probably the other 3 remaining swords. I would be surprised if it isn't, but at the same time, I wouldn't be super surprised if it wasn't, if it could be something else, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be printing the other 3 enemy colored swords. So I don't have a lot more to say on the name and number crunch right now. I think once we get some of the spoilers tomorrow, things are going to start shaping up, and we're going to get a clear view of what this is going to look like. There is something that I wanted to talk about, which was some news from yesterday. So I'm going to move over to this image over here, and that is a new product coming out from Wizards of the Coast with the launch of Zendikar Rising, which is a new kind of booster pack. So right now we have the draft booster and the collector's booster, which has kind of been the case for Magic the Gathering since Throne of Eldraine. Now it seems like they're going to be adding in, well, it not seems like, but they're actually adding in a third different kind of booster that's not really directed at the draft booster audience or the collector booster audience, but kind of the audience that's in the middle between draft and collector booster, which is the set booster. And the set booster, it is just like it sounds. It is kind of a mishmash between the draft booster and the collector's booster. We have this art slot, which if you all played Modern Horizons at all, every pack had an art card in it. Well, with this, we will also be getting art cards, but there's also going to be a 5% chance, I believe, to pull an art card with a gold stamp of the artist's signature. And then we have a land slot, which in Zendikar Rising, they will be full art lands, and there is a chance that this land slot could be a foil land. We have commons and uncommons, not necessarily at the same rate, so you're not always going to get a set number of commons and a set number of uncommons. This common uncommon slot will be a variance between commons and uncommons. I think you can pull something like one uncommon or up to three uncommons or something along that line. I don't really remember off the top of my head. Didn't really take that one to memory. And then they have what they call the fireworks portion of the pack, which has a head turner slot, which is like, could be like a showcase card or something along that line. And then they have like a wild card slot, which can be a card of any rarity, I believe, in that set, which is a very interesting, or it can be two cards rather of any rarity within that set, which is an interesting prospect to have this kind of wild card slot. It really does like amplify the gambling aspect of opening packs, to have like being able to pull like double duds and like two commons, or being able to pull double bombs and like two mythic rares, especially if you get like some nice mythic rares. So this is a very interesting slot to me, this wildcard rarity slot. The next chapter of the pack, as Rosewater had put it, was the Big Finish, which is our traditional rare slot. So we're always going to get a rare or mythic rare within the set, just like you would in any other kind of pack. And then these packs will have a guaranteed foil, just like the Masters packs of what we recall. And then lastly, we have the token ad slot, which is also an interesting slot because there is a percentage of the time. I'm going to pull up the article. It seems like 25% of the time, so 1 out of every 4 packs, instead of an ad or token card, you're going to get a card from this list that they're calling it, which is supposed to be a reference to the coolest parts of Magic, but they're also trying to make it fit on theme with Zendikar Rising. They've chosen 300 cards, which is a pretty big card pool. I'm wondering what kind of cards they're looking at. I know we have a couple, which we'll scroll down to in a second, and it has cards of any rarity. I don't really know what to think about this. First off, it's like kind of a crapshoot if you're gonna get a card from the list within that slot, and then it's like a double kind of gamble to pull like a card that is like maybe in higher rarity or something along that line. And then they gave an example of 3 of the teaser cards that will be in the list from Zendikar Rising, which were Muscle Sliver, Cloud Goat Ranger, and Pact Negation. Muscle Sliver is very interesting in the fact that we could get slivers on Zendikar Rising, so we're probably not getting Eldrazi. I think there was something along the line that said there's not going to be any Eldrazi on Zendikar this time around, but maybe with Eldrazi gone, that gives slivers a chance to rise up, or maybe they look at slivers in the same vein that they look at allies, how they kind of synergize one another, and maybe they're thinking of that synergy. Cloud Goat Ranger is something that I don't particularly know how it coincides with Zendikar, but we'll see. We'll see when it comes out. And then Pact Negation. So maybe we're going to get a new cycle of packs. That'd be pretty cool. I would definitely be down to see like a delayed cost spells, maybe a cycle of them or something along that line. So as far as my overall thoughts on the set boosters, I think is an interesting prospect. I wonder what the price point on these are going to be. I know there are a lot of people out there that are kind of fatigued with the different products that come out with each set. I got to a point where I got fatigued with just the number of products coming out in such a short amount of time, which lead me to take a bit of a hiatus from Magic in between Eldraine and really Core 21. I'm really just getting back in, but the current state of the world hasn't allowed for me to really go and play paper Magic, which is why I like to play Commander with my friends at my LGS. All that being said, I can see how players coming into the game, getting back into the game, or existing players can, get worn down by the number of different products. And the only advice I can offer is that not every product is made for every person. I think Wizards, what they're doing is they're branching out to try and target specific audience. If you are a competitive player that likes to draft, then get some draft boosters and draft with your friends or draft at your FNM. If you're a collector like I am for the most part, I think I'm the target audience for something like collector's boosters and VIP packs and something along that line. If you're kind of in the middle, like you want to be competitive, but you also like collecting other kinds of things like art cards, the set booster might be for you. I think you just have to evaluate what you want to do with Magic, and then that's where you're going to put your money. And I mean, for a number of other people, if they're looking to play constructed, they're probably looking at the secondary market to get the best prices on cards that they can get to build their standard deck or modern decks or whatever decks they're trying to play. Although I imagine a lot of people are playing more Magic online, not to say MTGO, but more like Arena and Magic the Gathering online. So, I mean, all that has to be weighed in consideration when Wizards is making these products and pushing them out. And I mean, these products are made way ahead of time, so they probably didn't anticipate, a world that we live in where people aren't really able to gather and play paper Magic as much as they would like for them to either. So we're going to see how Wizards pivots really at the beginning of next year when the winter set comes out. But I mean, that's all I have for today. We got to talk about the spoilers that came out over the weekend, and we got to talk about Zendikar Rising and the new set booster. I look forward to seeing the rest of the spoilers that come out for Double Masters. I'm really excited to see the final count or the final 40 cards we get for the VIP packs. I'm definitely going to be opening some VIP packs and some Double Masters boxes on the channel because it is a good way for me to kind of replenish my collection of some of the stuff that I'm missing from the sets. I know it isn't the most cost-effective way, but it is a way for me to at least get some chaff that I wouldn't want to otherwise go out and buy if I needed to. So we're going to see how that all turns out. But I'd like to know what your guys' thoughts are on the 2 cards that got spoiled over the weekend, plus the Zendikar set boosters, and just the density of products that's coming out with each set release. So feel free to comment. I like reading your comments, and I like critically thinking about them, and in some cases, when I have the time, I like to converse about them. So yeah, if you have something to say, feel free to say it. I'm never going to shame anyone for it, and I do try to look at as many as I can. I look at them all right now because there's not a lot of people watching, but maybe we'll jump up and then I have the luxury of having to just be able to skim through them, but that's down the line hopefully. But that's it for today. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you didn't like it, feel free to give it a thumbs down. It's freedom of speech. I have no right to take that away from you. And if you could, toss me a subscribe. It really helps me out. And until next time, which will be tomorrow, y'all take care, stay safe out there, goodbye.